SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Yes, you're here and it's Wednesday, West African time. Today, the 10th of July, 2024. My name is Mark Godwin Iwejuwa, and you're welcome to our SSM Wednesday Global Africa update. As usual, I'm here. I do this with my coordinators, correspondent, and real smart Nigerians all over the world. Joining me from Lagos, Nigeria is our man, Ogbeni Olayinkaraji. Ogbeni Olayinkaraji, you're welcome to Wednesday Global Africa Update.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, viewers around the world. Welcome to our Global Update on Wednesday.
Yes.
You're in for a nice time.
Yes. Thank you. So, Raji, I hope the weather is good. The flooding have stopped. Lagos is not experiencing any of that wild rainfall, downpour. Is it still happening? What's the weather like?
It's been raining all night anyway. It's been raining all night. It's still raining. It's still drizzling. But I've not had any much reports about flooding.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, because we saw the flooding last week. Anyway, I think the Commissioner for Environment have said a lot of efforts are being put in to stop the flood and reduce it. And we know he's doing a good job on that. Yes. Thank you. You're welcome. So, yes, a lot is happening. Viewers around the world, this is SSM Wednesday. What we do, like we say, is we give out our story, exclusive reporting, bring perspective to the day's news, and we give you all the scoops on all updates, and that's what we've come to do. So you're welcome, Raji.
Thank you.
Let's start with something that is still going, is in the burner and the news, and as of this morning, we're still even getting more updates. Finally, it looks like there's a solution to these herders and farmers clash. Yesterday, we had the president create a Ministry of Livestock Development to address that herders and farmers clash. I mean, we've been seeing that all these years, going into the farm, people taking their cows, their animals into people's farm, eating up crops. So is it a welcome news, Raji, that there's now
I think it's a cowardly solution. It's a cowardly solution. There's no reason why we should be having herders herding their cattle all over the country in this day and age. There had been a 1969 court case that has said that it is illegal for herders to herd their cattle into anybody's farm, and that if that happened, that is an infringement, and the herders should be held responsible. Yes, so creating the livestock development, which could have been a department under the Ministry of Agric, And I don't say it is a cowardly solution because the Mieti Allah people asked for it and it has been given to them. It is cowardly.
Well, if it is to administer and control and check the clashes, is it not a good idea? Because
there's ab initio, there shouldn't be any clashes because cattle herding is illegal. You can't at this day and age to be moving cattle through hundreds of kilometers to herd. What kind of nonsense is that? It shouldn't happen. So ab initio, there shouldn't have been that issue at all. If the government has been strong enough to say, look, you can't herd, you can't start moving your cattle into town, into cities. You have seen cases where a whole herd of cattle has been moved into Abuja, disrupting traffic and movement.
Okay, let's look at something. Two things on this, Raji. Number one is yes, like you said, in this time, this day and age, this modern period of humanity, nobody does that. But one thing is this: first of all, the cattle rearers say when they stay in one spot, people come to steal their cattle. Their cattle also go through some sickness as a result of being in one spot for too long. So what about this idea coming in, and the federal government is also looking into it in a bigger way, because those things, they move around. Do you know that those cattle that are moving around, that's like a World Bank, that's like a financial institution moving? Have you thought about it like that? That cattle,
I've thought beyond that.
Like $1 billion worth of
I have thought beyond that. Look, let's even look at the analysis.
Okay,
those cattle look malnourished. You don't have much meat from them. They are all bones. In the Western region, in those days, we had cattle ranches, and we had cattle that was more flesh than bones.
Okay.
Because they have cattle ranches. All that have to be. Look, cattle herding is a private business.
Yes,
it's a private business.
Now, this has happened. This is happening in our country, Nigeria. As it is now, if it's not checkmate, if it's not stopped, it will blow up into more serious issues. So that the federal government has brought up an agency. Yes, you said that agency should be under the Ministry of Agric, but now Tinubu, what he has done is he has created this agency, this ministry on its own, and like he said, it will be chaired by Atahiru Jega, that former INEC chairman. The former INEC chairman will be the co-head of that board, while Tinubu will be the chairman. I think this will they will come with some very good, like what you're saying, implementation idea. Don't you think so?
It is still a stopgap solution, and it is no solution at all.
Okay.
It is no solution at all, and I hope they are not going to start Ruga in states by taking state land and giving it to these Mieti Allah people.
Okay, for our viewers, explain what you mean by Ruga. Some people might not understand that. Explain what you mean.
Ruga was a means of the federal government creating enclaves for the Fulani herders, so that they will come to a state and they'll be herding their cattle in that place.
Okay.
The government will take it. Yes.
Yes.
Look,
okay, go ahead.
Okay, there's no way that the federal government will now be in charge of a private business and be taking land from states and be giving it to private business. No, it is not right.
Okay.
In fact, look. What is the population of the cattle that you even have in Nigeria? The population of cattle you have in Nigeria. It is very small. And even the flesh content, the meat content of this cattle is so small, it's so meager, When the Western region had its ranches, you could have they bought cattle from Mali, from other places that had more flesh than bones, and you don't have to herd them around.
You don't have to help them around. Okay, listen to this,
Raji.
Added to what you're saying, there's a young man, a former aide to the vice president, to the former vice president Yemi Osibanju. There is his aide called Laolu Akinde. Now, Laolu, yesterday when the federal government gave that announcement of that Ministry of Livestock Development, the young man came out and said that during Buhari's tenure, there was an inaugurated ministry also. But what that ministry doesn't have, this is what Akonde is saying, what that ministry didn't have was the willpower to implement all they said and all they planned at that time. So he said that putting up another new ministry and all this new plan, that this might also cost the government money, because you have to fund that ministry, you have to, support the ministry. Yes. So the young man, the man Laolu Akonde is saying that there is something that have come out before, and they had an implementation plan, but they didn't put it out because they didn't have the willpower. So now let's look at, viewers, why we're discussing this is because it's really a serious issue. For the past 10 years now, Nigeria has been going through a lot of farmer headers clash, a lot of problems arising from that sector, and not just the clash. We've seen destruction of farmland. We've seen a lot of things, even people destroying, killing the cows. There's this video I saw last time in the southeast. The young man killed close to Raji. I could see close to 100 cows that were just butchered for nothing. Now, why do we have to go through all this? Go ahead.
No, so Mark, sorry to cut you short there. If those headers were local people, they won't be behaving the way they are behaving on other people's farm.
Okay.
So the headers come in as invaders.
Okay.
They come in as invaders, and I've said it before that there's a war of attrition against the South by these invaders, ensuring that our farmlands are devastated by their cattle. So if the headers were local people, I'm sure they will not be going to other people's farm. So it is very an abominable thing for headers, aliens. Yes, aliens to come from outside the community and to come and invade our farm, and we do it without care.
Okay, without care. Viewers, listen, Raji, you won't believe we have quite a good number of people listening to what we've been saying all the while. But before we continue, let's bring in our man, George Chukwu from Toronto, Canada. George, you're welcome to this beautiful day and the discussion we're having.
Thank you so much, Massive Mark, and thank you, Olayinka Raji, my man from Nigeria.
Good morning.
And viewers from around the world, we want to welcome you to our show today. It's going to be a fantastic, hot one.
Yes. Fantastic one, George. Yes, George, we've used like about 15 minutes now talking about a development that's happening. Tinubu's government created a Ministry of Livestock Development, they call it, to address the farmer header clash we've been experiencing for years now. So Raji and I have been going back and forth, putting out both advantages, disadvantages, and everything into it. So what's your take on this, George? How do you see this?
Well, I personally don't see any advantage to an old age situation that needs to be solved. And the only way to solve that problem is with a man with a political balls. And this is not what is happening. So this is just bandaging some kind of wound, and it will continue to fester under the rug. So there is no solution but to go back to the inception and how it was originally and bring us back to 2024. We're still living in these 40s and 50s with this type of decision. What is he doing, trying to create another one? Buhari created one. He was the head of, Miyetti Allah. And then nothing happened until today. People are being sidetracked. Animals are supposed to feed, but people will go hungry. Look at what is happening, the food insecurity in the country. And we're still, dancing around with this type of situation. Why can't they create a lasting solution, understanding that we don't have to appease the Fulani oligarchy and the Miyetti Allah or whatever they call them? We don't have to do that. Everybody got their own private businesses. Why must the whole entire nation then turn around and begin to appease these people? For what? Are you appeasing the fisheries in the eastern region and western region? Are you appeasing others? But these people, we have to, just make sure that they are appeased and they are satisfied. No, it is not. They've gone to get military equipment for these herders and giving it to them. And they're going into farmlands and destroying livestock, destroying food that people are planted. Come on. You're choosing animals over people? Who does that?
Okay.
No, I'll tell you what, this is, listen, let me tell you this. Our Tinubu needs to, grow some balls. Stand against this nonsense. It is not supposed to be happening. Because this is all, it's nothing but these people are trying to, basically sabotage the whole entire thing, and they're pushing him against the wall. And that's why, look at what is happening from the north. You didn't see that during Buhari's administration. All of a sudden, nothing is going right. And they're pushing him against the wall to do this type of thing. And it is not right.
Okay, but I think that setting up a ministry to look into it could be a step to solving the problem, because the problem is already there.
They had a ministry already.
Yeah,
they had a ministry already.
That's what they said. That's what Laolu Akonde, the former aide to Yemi Osinbajo, that's what he said. He said they have the willpower to execute all the implementation plans they had. Laolu was saying this immediately. The president announced that ministry. Now, right now we're talking. You guys hear this? The Nigerian Railway Corporation says it's now starting its rail service to transport cattle from the north to the south part of Nigeria. So the Railway Corporation Managing Director, Fedet Okiria, has revealed this morning, just this morning, Wednesday morning. And this is, I think, in line with that new ministry that has been formed. So they are looking at ways they can really curb this whole menace. This is real menace. But I also said something.
So Mark, let me ask you. See, where are they going to be transporting those cattle? Are they going to now create Ruga? It is, and said that livestock ministry was a cowardly move to make. And just like my Sir George has agreed with me, we need to have, there's already a solution. Why are we creating a problem for a solution?
But
it is illegal for you to herd your cattle.
Yeah, normally what they do is when they bring it back in the days when I was in Nigeria, I know this because I was in the veterinary business. When they bring in this cow from the north, they take it to the various abattoirs in the south. Now, inside those abattoirs are corners where you can load down your cow, and the cows will stay until they are brought to the butcher, to the place they are butchered. So the abattoir centers have centers for cows, animals, and all these husbandry where they are kept. So I think that this could be brought back. All this
Olayinka, let me just say something. Mark, let's not dance. This is serious business. We're dancing. Okay, all this pontificating left and right and all that is absolutely nonsense. If you want to deal with the real issue, let's go down to the bottom line, to the core issues that we're dealing with. Lives have been lost up until today in the middle belt. Villages are being vacated because of these people. They are being displaced, put in camps. They can't come back to their lands. Why is that? mean, this is a strategical move by the northern oligarchy to occupy and to take over. You cannot do that. These are appeasing of a group of people unnecessarily. If they want a real solution, let me give you a real solution. Establishing controlled ranches and grazing reserves. The government can do that. The government could focus on developing control ranches and grazing reserves where herders can feed their cattle. There will be water available. There will be veterinary facilities available. They can be equipped with a lot of things where now all of a sudden you don't have animals wandering and destroying farmlands. This will reduce the movement from one area to another because there is food insecurity in the country now. Oh, Mrs. Tinubu came out here the other day, watering a garden, encouraging people to go and start, creating gardens at the back of their houses or whatever the case might be. But this is a solution. These particular ranches could be leased out to these herders, leased out to them so that they can pay some money towards the government. What are these people paying to the government? The second one is promoting other areas of the livestock. Let me tell you something. If you go to Australia today, they produce more cattle than we do, but you don't see their animals wandering all over the place. In Canada, most of the meat we eat comes from Australia, but we don't see them destroying livestock. Why are we still living in the past? Why are these people not wanting to develop? They just still want to stay in the primitive ways and then want to put everybody in bondage.
Yes, and like I said earlier, Raji and I, George, when they move these cattle, I mean that's like World Bank moving, because you're talking about 2 to 3 billion naira worth of livestock.
It is their business.
It is their business.
So yes, that's
have to do with the nation.
Exactly. That's why I'm with you on what you're saying. So why move these things in the forest, getting them prone to hazard instead of keeping them in a spot and doing what you said, George? Right.
So
these people can be trained. Yes,
Sir George, please let us go back to when I'll mention the case of the Western region. They had ranches, and those ranches are still available. It is a government business. So your talk about having reservation area for them, you are bringing up Ruga, which is not necessary, because you are helping a private business to do. States can have ranches.
That's what I'm saying. They can be leased out to these herders. It will be leased out, and they will pay certain amount of money.
It has to be a state venture, not a federal government venture, because the federal government is trying to, as much as possible, infringe on the areas where the state have authority. We are trying to be more federal, but you keep on becoming more centralized. Everything that they have to do.
Maybe because the state doesn't know what to do. So if
the states know,
so what could happen now is, like Laolu is telling us, what could happen now is with this new ministry under Atahiru Jega, the former INEC chairman, with this ministry now, state should now be incorporated into it. The state government commissioners of the state should now come in now, so that implementation can go down, trickle down, and really work.
We are just reactivating Ruga, and it is like sharing meat. The federal government is sharing meat with its teeth. You don't know what is left in the mouth. It is not fair. It is not fair that a private enterprise will be backed by the federal government and will be enforced onto states.
But George, I also said
to form their own ranches.
George, but also look that the farmers, the herders also have suffered loss too. I saw there was this video. I've seen a couple of videos like that where
they have to suffer loss.
Lots and
how can you move your head into my cattle? Because they brought their head into somebody's farm.
Okay.
And that farmer will have invested millions for the farm, and therefore have to retaliate.
What kind of loss are they suffering? Human lives? which they are doing, killing villagers, killing villagers, massacring,
I'm
talking about generations of people.
AK-74, they are armed, and the farmers are armed with cutlasses. No, it is unfair. Ab initio is unfair.
I see we're really very, the passion is too much. So, yeah, so viewers, that's it. Anyway, Tinubu's government has created a ministry for livestock development to address the farmer headers clash. We hope, like the young man Laolu has made us to know, we hope this ministry will not just be able to bring out ideas, but have the willpower. That was what Laolu is saying. Willpower to implement whatever ideas, whatever strategy.
What ideas are they going to implement? What ideas are they going to implement?
Let's see how they come up with. Let's see what they will come up with. So be on the lookout, guys.
Ban cattle herding in every state. Ban cattle herding in every state. Let farmers take care of their farm, and let this war of attrition stop. It's a war of attrition. It has been going for more than years. That's why we're having food insecurity now.
Now you've heard it. Raji has put it out. Let the war of attrition stop. Okay, gentlemen, let's move on to other news. So many things still happening. With the short time we have, I don't know, we'll come back with this anyway. Our River State crisis is still deepening. It's still going. We thought by now everything will ease up, but yesterday, a pro-Wike lawmaker have given the governor 7 days ultimatum to represent the 2024 budget. Gentlemen, Rivers is still on cooking pot, frying with oil and pepper and everything. So Raji, what's this?
It's a very simple solution.
Mm-hmm.
If you contest on the platform of a party A, and you have been elected on the platform of that party, you cannot change after the elections and belong to party B. The moment you do that, you have lost your seat. That is decency. That is decency, and let that decency prevail. Now, if you are still in party A and you are fighting with your governor, and you are threatening the governor with impeachment, the process of impeachment has to be very, very clear and laid out, so that a band of vagabonds, a band of bandits will not take over the governance of a state, because the state governor is not part of a clique that wants to rule that state. And then let the final word go to Wike. If the whiskey has been taken, has gotten into his head, let him calm down. Let him calm down. He's no more the governor of River State. He should face the ministership of the federal government, capital territory, and stop meddling in the affairs of River State.
Okay, good. So
I think this is just nothing but a game that we're playing. Because why is it that a sitting governor of a state is being just almost insulted, backed against the wall by a former governor? What are we doing in that country? No, think about it for a moment. You are the sitting governor, but somebody who's supposed to be your the former godfather, feels like he has authority extending after his tenure. Who does that? And the federal government is sitting over there watching them, making themselves look like fools. What is this? Okay, number one, this other members, House Assembly, they resigned their seats under the platform where they actually was elected. Well, constitutionally, they are no longer, those seats are vacant. Why are we playing games? Okay. Do we have a constitution, or can we just dance whenever we want with them? It doesn't make any sense. Some things that we will look at in Nigerian context, it just stinks. That means that we don't even have a nation, if you want to call it so. This is exactly what is happening. This man should be called to an order. Wike should be called to another or get rid of from FCT if he cannot mind his own business in Abuja.
Okay, man, let's come back to this same discussion because it's a serious thing. A state that has been plunged into this cannot progress, and somehow, like George will say, when two elephants are fighting, it's the grass that these ordinary citizens are probably not enjoying the benefit and that this administration should offer, as he has promised them. But we're coming back to it. Sit tight. Come on the other side. Thank you, viewers. Viewers, you tuned into SSM Wednesday, our Wednesday update, Global Africa for you audience. Let's be back.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in diaspora and at home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerian soul, are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
This is everything you need to marry a Nigerian girl. Her father gave me a list of 39 items which include a live goat. The first place I went was the bulk food market to gather the yam, palm oil, baskets of fruit, and dried fish known as eja osun. And it's not just one yam or liter of palm oil, I am buying large quantities. It was pouring rain and I rented boots to make it through the mud, but it is worth it to marry my beautiful bride. In Nigeria, they practice dowry for marriage, paid to the family. In the Yoruba culture, each item is symbolic and not really a payment to the family, but rather proving your worth to marry her. And prove it I did by next heading to the goat market, where I spoke with a house of men to find the meatiest goat. This is the one I picked, and surprisingly, the goat at only $40 is one of the cheapest items on the list. This can't be done in one day, so after the rain cleared, I went to Mushin Main Market to find the kola nut, both bitter and regular, the alligator pepper, the adun, which specifically said I needed to buy plenty, and bottle of raw honey, which symbolizes that our marriage will be sweet. Next, I had to gather biscuits, bulk packs of different drinks, wine, and semen schnapps, as well as a suitcase full of new clothes for my fiancé to prove I can provide for her in the marriage, and lastly, the marriage Bible, as God will always come first. It is possible to pay someone to buy these items, but for me, I wanted the experience myself. Finally, we brought all these items to the family home for the wedding day. It is not easy to marry a Yoruba girl, but my bride is strong, smart, loving, beautiful, and completely worth it.
Yes, viewers, welcome back. Wednesday, Global Africa Update. And I'm here with my coordinators, gentlemen of a press, men that speak without any fear, put out ciphers. George, what you guys were saying earlier on is good, Raji. But now let's look at this. The man Wike is somewhere in Abuja and wreaking havoc to the states. And he's the man that also brought in this governor. He's his boy, like they will say. But why is he more interested in putting his hands in this governance instead of just facing his job in Abuja? I think it's because of 2027. He needs a foothold to stand on when he comes? Because I know Wike still wants to come for presidency in 2027. Raji, what do you think?
If he's thinking of presidency in 2027, I'm sure he's dreaming. Maybe he's taking too much whiskey. There's no way that Wike can ever even make as much impact as Obi made. And which party is he going to contest on? Is it PDP or APC? Because at the moment he doesn't belong to any party. He doesn't belong to any party. And Wike should know now. Sorry, Wike should know that karma is a bitch. He did worse to Amechi, who brought him in.
That's what they say.
So it's just karma catching up with him.
Karma catching up with him. George, one other thing is the fact that Wike has also created faction and division in his own party. You know, that's PDP. In fact, I don't see him as a PDP man again with how he's doing. So, but do you think all of this will eventually favor him, or is he just heading to doom? I mean, how is he putting this all together?
He should know who Jagaban is. He should know who Jagaban is. Jagaban is not a pushover. Jagaban did not come into this administration to just allow somebody, a drunk like, from River State, to come and, push him all over the wall. He's allowed to be in FCT because anything could happen any day, because he could be removed anytime. So he better be careful. Whether he has that pipe dream that come from Ogogoro, no be vodka. You should understand it. Ogogoro no be vodka. So if you're drinking Ogogoro, go and get a refined drink and know that you're dealing with Jagaban, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So that I know for sure. If he has that dream, let him remain a dream, because it will never happen in Nigeria. But anyway, the point about it is this. Jagaban himself needs to rise up and tell this man, leave these people alone. You are the government, you are the president, executive president of the whole entire Nigeria. If in fact a little place like River State, one of the states, is having this type of issue and is being caused by somebody you appointed to be the head of FCT, tell him to back off and allow the state to prosper. Because when the state is not prospering, it's affecting the economy and the welfare of the whole entire Nigerians. So rise up, Mr. Tinubu, grow some balls and tell this man to back off. Simple. You are the president, for goodness sake. Or else remove him from FCT. Let him go back to his village.
That's it. Thank you, George. Thank you, Raji. Well, I was waiting for our Russian coordinator to come in to give us the update on this. But let's just say it as a news update. Ukraine is in deep mourning after deadly Russian missile strikes. As at this morning, yesterday was 41 people dead, about 166 injured. But this morning, the number of dead people have increased. And Ukraine is accusing Russia of that act. Ukraine says it is Russia that has done this. They use so many weapons on them at a go, spontaneously. Pop, 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 pop. Also, this morning, Russia says they've given an warrant of arrest for. We all remember Navilia, that man that was killed. The wife went on to continue with the organization. Now Russia has outlawed the organization and labeled them as extremists, and the woman is being sought for as an arrest warrant. So these are two updates I thought Godwin will come to tell us. It's not Friday, but we just had to do this because it's breaking news. Anything you want to say? Is there anything you want to say on that?
I think that enough is enough, if you ask me, because this is nothing but wickedness at this moment, at this point. The leader of India was with Putin for 2 days. And I've asked him nicely to seek negotiation, political, diplomatic negotiation to stop this war. But on top of it, while he was there, appeasing him, he is bombarding and destroying. These are their own brothers. It's just exactly what happened in Biafra during Nigeria, where 3 million people died. 3 million people died. So I believe that there is a better way. If it is not just, pride and ego that is going on here, they can sit down as former Soviet Union, sit down and discuss these things, and don't allow the whole entire world, to influence what is going on. They can discuss it if they can put their pride aside. People are dying. Generations are being wiped out because of this war. And it's come to the point where enough is enough. Put pride aside, sit down and negotiate and talk. It is too much.
And,
okay, Raji, go ahead.
My own small bit. This a situation like this arises when you choose a comedian as your president, a comedian who doesn't have depth. This war wouldn't have happened if the comedian had not agreed to the bungling idiot called Boris Johnson, who came to convince him not to sign a favorable agreement between him and Russia. Now, as for the lady who is now trying to continue with what her husband was doing, when the country is at war, there's martial law. Certain liberties are abrogated, and she had better be careful. She had better be careful.
Thank
but
you, General.
For the Ukrainian issue, I think the pride is actually on the side of the comedian. Russia is ready. Russia is ready to stop all these things. But
Russia is ready. Where is Russia ready? Why did a president of a whole nation came and appeasing you, and you are ordering your military to bombard and destroy much more? 40 missiles that were put in that place while the man was sitting with you talking about negotiation, and the following day you continue to kill civilians. You thought you're blaming. What are you blaming? I
won't want us to go too deep. It's Friday. We'll do this. We'll come in strong.
Okay. We'll wait till Friday.
We just had to do the update because it's really serious. Viewers, the picture you're seeing there are Ukrainians mourning their dead. This morning, the number of dead people have increased, and the injured has also increased from serious attack on different locations. They even said a hospital, children hospital.
Yes, a hospital. Yeah, children hospital was bombed.
Okay, let's go on now, guys. This is serious again. This will come back to Nigeria. Let's come back to Africa, Nigeria. The managing director of the Federal Airport Authority, one Olubunmi Kuku, says out of the 22 airports in Nigeria, is only 3 out of all of those airports that is viable, that is commerciable, that is working, that is up to standard out of 22 of them. Yes, it's a news I want us to look into. This was coming out. So, George, you travel a lot. You go to Nigeria, and you know what a real standard international airport should look like. For me, I wouldn't even say the 3. Those 3 they've mentioned probably doesn't even meet up the standard. But is it not a shame that we have all this money? Nigeria claims to be everything in Africa, and we don't have up to standard international airports, borderline and everything. George, what's your take on this? The director is saying
my take on it is that most of the money that is coming through those places are into private pockets. If it is well managed, believe me, there is no absolute. Nigerians travel more than any other country in this world, both locally and internationally. So, and many international airlines are sustained because of how they treat Nigerians, and we're still flying, and we're still going. So the point is this: when the money is budgeted, it's not being well used. 80% of the money that comes in goes into private pocket. They're only using about 20% to sustain the airport. And there is infrastructure, everything that is being done. They don't, no maintenance culture in our country. We'll allow the washrooms to get so dilapidated and all kinds of nonsense. If you go to some of them, you won't even be able to breathe. So, these are things that are happening that need special attention. Now, if we decide to be serious about business and not to allow some of these people, that are managing these places, they can actually turn things around within 6 months, and you will see a vibrant airport all over Nigeria, and they will be doing well. The problem is everybody is stealing and nobody is checking. That's the issue. Everybody is stealing, nobody is checking. Bad management. Bad management.
So, yes, the managing director of the Federal Airport Authority, Olubumi Kuku, she came up with this announcement. She said critical infrastructural is required. The runways, everything is dilapidated. A lot of arrangement needs to be done. And like you said, George, the money comes in, they take tax, there's taxi tax, there's this tax everywhere, stores pay taxes, everybody is paying tax to the authority, but they don't use those tax in return to refurbish and keep everywhere together. You're Raji, is it not a shame that we can't, our airports are not up to standard?
You see, I've traveled through Kotoka International Airport in Ghana, and it is a dream to go through that place.
Wow,
beautiful! Everything is perfectly done. We have spent billions of naira on the runway expansion in Lagos, in Abuja, and some aspect of Port Harcourt. And you see a freshly made runway actually looking dilapidated because the moment a plane landed on it, the ground started shifting. So we don't do good. I don't think many of us Nigerians really love this country. I don't think we are shameful enough to say that, look, let us do something good. That look at Abuja Airport, Abuja International Airport. So of those three airports that she mentioned, probably Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. And Port Harcourt is nothing much to talk about. Aminu Kano International Airport is just like a local airport. You see, Ibadan cannot be profitable. Ibadan cannot be profitable. And recently, I also heard that Zamfara State is trying to build an airport. Zamfara State that could not register students for O levels is going to build an airport with
so they can use to ship the gold, like George would say, the gold coming out from there at night. George, Anambra State also has an airport, even though it was state built. But there's something about our airports I want to also let you guys know. The management itself has issues. Okay, George just said that too. The management run it as if it's their thing. When you go to some airports, some of these stores, for example, the person will tell you one of the management owns the store, and that store shouldn't be at that place it is. You go to some car park at the airport, you see people selling cigar and biscuits and cigarettes and some other things, and somebody from the airport authority gave them that pass to do that. So everything is just so. George, you said it before, but
like I said, well, a dead fish when it starts thinking from the head. If the head is not correct, what do you expect the body to be? That's exactly the point. Think about this for a moment. Let's stop playing games. We know what to do, but the point is special interest is hijacking a lot of things. And you cannot come down when you are corrupt on top to tell people on the bottom not to be corrupt. It's like a man smoking cigarette and telling the teenager, don't never try that, you know. Don't try. I mean, it doesn't make any sense because you're going to be looking like a hypocrite. You smoking and you telling me not to smoke. You're taking bribe and you're not doing right, and you're trying to come up in here to tell me. That's what you call absolute hypocrisy. So the point I'm saying is this: when we get serious about governance and when we get serious about making sure that our country is truly the pride of our pride, then you will begin to see people like us who will now possibly get into those offices and will not allow the status quo to keep us down. We will go up higher. Because you see some governors like what you're seeing in Abia State right now. Yeah, I'm not saying that he's perfect, but look at what he is doing. You can clearly, the whole entire state is hailing this man. Because in Aba already, there is so much transformation in that place that is really, I mean, like, you know, people are now flying back home to go to Abia State almost like every three months because of how beautiful the place is becoming. Isn't that what we are looking for? People are now beginning to want to go and invest in Abia State from here. Isn't that what we are looking for? But all these governors are there giving excuses, you know, from one excuse to another. It doesn't make any sense. When we really want Nigeria to be real giant of Africa, we will wake up like what Olalinka Raji is saying. We're all playing games. It's true.
Okay. Let me just say this as a breaking news we just got in now in the cable. It says a business relationship manager with Zenith Bank PLC, Ifoma Ogbonnaya, told the court this morning at Ikeja that some funds from the Central Bank of Nigeria went through to Zenith Bank with accounts that were linked to Miss Margaret Emefiele. That's the wife of the former governor of the Central Bank former governor. So it's coming as a cable now. So what that it means is that the wife of Emefiele, our former Central Bank governor, has been indicted in this big scam. He says about 2.8 billion, $4.5 billion, that was wired through this bank on this woman's name. So that's a broken news. Terrible. Every day, new thing comes on Godwin Emefiele's case. Raji.
Every day but Sir George mentioned it. Whenever a person is given an office, that office becomes his own enclave, becomes his own empire. So when he's the managing director of an airport, the airport is his own enclave. When Emefiele was governor of Central Bank, that Central Bank was his own enclave. And therefore, he has to do most transactions through his people and through persons close to him. It is a very sad case.
Through persons close to him. So the wife now was part of those people, and it's terrible. Moving funds running up to $4.5 billion. George,
who owns Eco Hotel? Do anybody know?
The Shagoris.
The Shagoris.
The Shagoris.
Okay.
Indians.
So recently, do you know that there is a connection between Eco Hotel and what just happened with the road from Lagos to Calabar? Do you know there is a connection there?
Yeah,
okay, we know that, don't we? Okay, we also know that the son of our president, the first son, is also a managing director. He has been appointed with
board of company.
Okay, board of trustee. So now tell me something. If you were one of these people being appointed to man something like one of these airports, and you're looking at all these things, nepotism and everything that is happening, glaring in our own eyes, what would you say to yourself? Should I not get my own piece of the cake? You know a dead fish when it starts thinking from the head. If we are careful, we will know how to manage our affairs. Look at Emefiele. Emefiele was doing what he was doing only because the people on top were using him to do a whole lot of atrocities, and he felt like he can get away with it. He is a scapegoat today, and he's gonna have to chop sand because of that, because everybody he helped to move money around away from Nigeria, they're all sitting pretty. Nobody is saying anything, and they're going to allow him to languish in that place because he's an scapegoat. That's all it is.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. Let's pull the plug with this last story. Interestingly, it's coming from CNN instead of BBC that the matter concerns. And what's that story? It is a story of mass rape that's happened in Uganda. Mass rape of women, in Kenya, by British Army. Being in Kenya, staying in Kenya, they raped a lot of women, and some of those children now, the father are now grown. You can see pictures of some of those children. This is one. This is another one. This one is grown now. And CNN did a special documentary on this. So nobody's talking about it, but SSM has to talk about it. We have the power and we have what it takes to talk about this. George and Raji, these European soldiers will come to Africa and ravage the Africa, rape the women, take things away, and get out with it. Now, what they are saying, what the Kenyan women are saying is that it's not a bad thing that they did what they did, but they are not coming out. Nobody knows. The men have fizzled out, and they have lots and lots of children from that situation. So this is what is happening. Many women say the soldiers raped them, they had children with them, and they abandoned them. Mixed children, mixed race children. Now that group of people, group of mothers and children have all come together, and they want the British government to look into this. So, guys, I know we didn't put this wasn't in our list, but we need to talk about it. Raji, let me start with you.
Yes, looking at the age of those children, this seems like a very recent occurrence. It looks quite recent, and therefore it's something that could be investigated very, very fast. Because this is a child. She doesn't look 10. So this might have happened in the recent past. I was thinking of during the Mau Mau movement, where similar cases happened, but this one looked very recent. I think the government should do something about it immediately. How it happened so recently is also a bother for me. It means that the Kenyan government failed.
Beautiful children, and
the children are very, very beautiful. But personally, I do not believe that most of them were raped. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I am so sorry. I know what is happening in Africa, and I know how it does happen. And this is something that has been going on. So let's just say that they had relationships with some of these women. And now the atrocity is that they have abandoned the children, and they are not training the children. They are not giving, aid, or, they're being deadbeat dads. But, to come and say that they came and they raped women and, abandoned them. The conversation need to kind of change a little bit, because most of them are not raped. We know how most of our people, women, they, when you becomes a white man, how they, just clamor against them and all that kind of stuff. I don't think there was any kind of, most of them are not raped. And I doubt, honestly speaking, if a British man will come to Africa and begin to force a woman, no one understanding, the laws in their own land that prohibit such a thing. No sensible person will come there and do that, knowing that they could be, what could happen to them. So let's just move it that they are deadbeat dads, and they need to take responsibility for the children that they fathered in Kenya. Simple. That's it.
I agree. I agree with Sir George.
Okay, and let's take it that the British government need to look into this, because they are coming out in big numbers. The women are coming out in big numbers. So the British government has always been an exemplary government to the world, like they claim. So a situation like this, they should fish out those young men and make them own up to their responsibility. Yes. That's what we're saying here. So we agree with George.
It's too recent. It's too recent for it not to be traceable.
Okay,
it's too recent. Yeah.
So also,
these are beautiful children. Beautiful.
Indeed. Also, while we talk of Kenya, we also have story from Rwanda that the Rwanda government says it won't refund the 270 million pounds paid by UK government in the asylum program. They won't return it despite the cancellation. Yes. They are not returning it.
Yes.
So
that is why would they refund it? Why would they refund it? It's a down payment. It's non-refundable down payment. Because we have moved a lot of things. We have changed infrastructure, all kinds of things to put together for the people that you're going to live in our own land. So this is nothing but a good thing for the Rwanda government. I hope that they will take that money and put it into good use.
Okay.
My view. My view is that you see, when you apply for a British visa and you don't get it, they don't refund your money.
Thank you.
Money.
Yes.
So it's the same case with them.
Down payment. George said it. Down payment and no. But
it's
no,
down payment.
Leaving out the humor, the funny side of it. Gentlemen, take note that the Kenyan government also and Rwanda government also built houses, house units.
Yes.
Hotels and chalets and everything for that program. So you can't come and say, give us back our money. They did that in lieu that it was an agreement, a joint plan.
Yes.
So obviously the money must have also been spent, you know?
Of course.
Must have been spent. Okay, finally, there's something from a diaspora in Nigeria, Frederick Odoriga. He sent this to me. He says, we fully support the reservation of seats for women. Nigeria is trying to increase the number of seats for women in the House. However, there is no better time than now to consider reserving more seats for Nigeria in the diaspora, just like other African countries. Cape Verde, Ivory Coast, Niger, Senegal, Tunisia. So he said it's gross neglect of rights of Nigerians in diaspora to continually humiliate them, gross dishonor to them in a country that has its own shame. So what he's saying is the federal government of Nigeria should also consider having diaspora representation.
That's the point.
In the House. Thank you.
That's the point, yes.
That's the point. So that's coming from Frederick Odoriga, a journalist here in diaspora.
I think that's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea.
Yes.
Honestly,
that's a good point.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen, we have to go now. George, last thing, anything you want to add?
This is what you call the middle of the week, and want everybody to be looking up, and then to have a wonderful rest of the week, a prosperous one indeed. And join us on Friday again, where we'll talk about international news. Thank you so much for watching and being faithful. You are all loyalists, and we love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Reggie, thank
you. Yes, my concern actually with the Ukrainian-Russian war. I hope that some between now and Friday, when we reconvene, some moves will have been made to ameliorate the situation in Ukraine. And just like George said, I wish our viewers a very, very awesome week ahead. That we will expect them again on Friday.
On that note, viewers, we thank you for tuning in, and we're signing out here. Global Africa Wednesday, 10th of July. God bless you. Bye-bye.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.